Hello, I am Rebecca Banka. In this past simulation, the three people that I think were the most powerful were Colette, Clarissa, and Jasmine. Colette, I think, was one of the most powerful because, not just because she was president, but she had great influence when she threatened to veto all the bills because they didn't have enough C's in them, because she didn't think that they were good enough for her standards. So she was really threatening when she did that. And she was also very influential. Like, she tried to influence the Speaker of the House to put the kind of people on the convention committees to then compromise in the way that would be favorable to her. So she was very powerful in that way, and her being influential and threatening people. Jasmine, I believe, was very powerful because she was in the Senate and she pretty much controlled it. She would, take command of the floor, and she always had something to say, and she wouldn't let things slide without debate. She kept doing that and making people hear her thoughts and try and get them to think her way. And then she would talk to lobbyists about it, trying to get, them to back her up, because then she would get points, and so by doing what she wanted in the first place, even if it didn't get passed, she still got points. So it was very clever of her. Clarissa, I think, was very powerful because I overheard her telling several lobbyists that she would fight for what they wanted instead of what she wanted, changing her goals if they would just give her a couple of points. But saying to different lobbyists that she would change it to different things, it became contradictory. But I don't think anyone else figured that out. She was very sneaky in the way she talked to the lobbyists and other people who could give her points. Because in the end, she pretty much did what she wanted, but still got points. Or she fought for whoever gave her the most points. And so she did it that way. So she was a good liar, and it paid off for her. So it made her pretty powerful. All in all, they were all pretty powerful in their own way. They were very influential and made people see things their way, which in this past game was a very good thing to do. So that made them very powerful people. Whether people could see that or not, I could see it. When we would talk about debate, I didn't really quite understand because I didn't really see it like that. I kind of imagined like a sort of debate team kind of thing, like, okay, you say this, now you say this, now here's your rebuttal, now you're done. But this really kind of shed light on the fact that anyone can talk at any time. It just has to be one person at a time. So it's in an orderly fashion, but in a sense you're still arguing. And so that made a little more sense. And the whole process as a whole kind of made more sense. Like, the bill would be presented, and then it would go to both the House and the Senate, and then they would, argue on what they wanted, and they would come to an agreement. But then, once they all, recommended it to passing, we had the conflicts of, we had two bills that weren't exactly the same. So then we had to start the convention committee, and that kind of cleared things up because, I got to see how both the Senate and the House put people in a committee who would then compromise. And so that made more sense. And then they would go back and then to the House and Senate, who would then say yes or no. So that really shed light on it. And then the president, signing it or vetoing it, I mean, that kind of made sense before. And then just simply talking about the House and Senate being able to overrule the veto, to override it, I mean, that kind of cleared it up too. I mean, I didn't really have to see it. Just talking about it made more sense. So, the game as a whole, I think, cleared up a lot, and it was really helpful, very informative, and pretty true to life.